Spencer with energeticcity.ca, and this is the Community Roundup, which is sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. And today I'm joined by Constable Chad Neustaeter with the Fort St. John RCMP. How's it going, Chad?
Very good. Glad to be here.
That's good. Usually when the cops show up at your workplace, you run out the door quickly.
Sometimes people do.
But, well, I didn't, so I hope that gives me brownie points. So today we're here to talk a little bit about winter safety because it is upon us now.
Yes, yeah. As you can tell by the weather, winter is here and probably here to stay for the next number of months.
Great. We are definitely aware of it because we have no hair. So number one thing that I've been seeing is lots of vehicle thefts.
That has been a big thing that's been happening here in Fort St. John as of late.
Okay.
We've tried to make the public aware. One of the things that we're noticing is that people that are trying to warm up their vehicles in the morning are often leaving their vehicles running without a key or without it being locked with the keys inside. Okay. And what's happening is there are those thieves which are looking for an easy opportunity. They see a vehicle running, nobody inside of it, and they'll at least check. If the door opens, then they can take off with someone's vehicle. Often happens too at convenience stores or gas stations. If people are running in, picking up a paper or a coffee, leave their vehicle running to keep it warm, that's when we see that happening as well too.
Right. So I'm curious, someone has an older vehicle who doesn't have a remote start. How would you kind of recommend them warming it up, but also keeping safe?
Most vehicles, especially if they're older, they will let you lock it with a key inside if you have a second key. Okay. Keys don't cost a lot to cut. If it is a newer vehicle and you have to get one of the fobs, that might cost a little bit more. But you can also go to something that locks the steering wheel, like a club or something like that, some sort of immobilization device. Okay. Which allows you to run it with the key in there, but also makes it that much more likely to be less likely to be stolen.
Excellent. That's good because you don't want to, especially in this weather, you don't want to be running in to go grab a coffee or whatever and then it not be there. Then you got to walk to wherever you're going.
And call us.
Yeah, and then you got to talk to Chad. And I mean, no, just kidding. Okay, what other safety tips to stay safe, especially during the Christmas season?
So for the Christmas season, one of the things that we often suggest is, especially with Christmas season, people are shopping. If they do go shopping, it's almost the same thing. Hide things that are in your vehicle. Right. If people are walking through parking lots and they see your vehicle stacked up with Christmas gifts and presents, or just even items, they're thinking, oh, there's some stuff, and they'll try the doors on the vehicle. So make sure every time you leave your vehicle, it's locked up. Right. Try and hide those items too. If you've got like a back seat that you can put it on, if you've got a blanket that you can cover it up with, those things are great because it's out of sight, out of mind. They're not exactly sure what it is, and that way they're like less likely to try and get into your doors.
Because those are mostly crimes of opportunity. They're just kind of walking around and be like, hey.
Absolutely. It can be somebody going to their vehicle, they see something, and they're like, oh, like if that's sort of a penchant that they have is to take stuff out of other people's vehicles, it's an opportunity that they see, and they might just grab it. I was just going to say, another thing, especially with the Christmas season, is impaired driving.
Really?
It's the season of people partying and celebrating, whether it's with family or with work, and we want people to celebrate. Celebration is a good thing, but making sure that they do it responsibly. Right. One of the things that we tell people is, a $20 or $30, $40 taxi is way less than fighting a $10,000 impaired ticket, right? Yep. If you do get caught being impaired, your vehicle can be impounded. You can get a criminal record from that, depending on how the officer proceeds, depending on circumstances. Yep. You can also get in a collision where you end up hurting yourself, hurting someone else, or damaging your vehicle. Yep. All of those things can be prevented by having a designated driver, having someone that's going to come and pick you up, or taking a taxi. There's a lot of alternatives which are fairly inexpensive and just as convenient.
Yeah. Don't recommend walking, though. Given the choice, especially with this RCMP officer looking at me, walk over driving if you've had a few to drink. It'll keep you warm. But don't drink while you walk. You can't do that either.
No, we can't do that either.
Awesome, Chad. And then another thing. Oh man, what was I going to ask you?
One thing that I have is, because it is Christmas too, a lot of people go to travel and visit families. Okay. Anytime you're traveling, especially if it's a long distance, let family know when you're leaving and when you plan on being there. Yeah. Especially if you're going to be driving for a couple of hours, and let them know what route you're taking as well too. In case something does happen to you, then they have an idea of where to look for you. Right. Sometimes, and I've seen it, we just traveled to Grand Prairie, there was a vehicle that broke down and was on the side of the road, right? So to know that someone is traveling a certain route, whether you have cell phone coverage or not, at least they know where you're going to be. Another thing along with that would be, because there is so many people traveling, make sure you've got good winter tires. I grew up in Saskatchewan. We only had all-season tires. That's what my dad always put on until I bought my very first pair of winter tires. Oh my goodness, they make such a difference.
You also don't have hills in Saskatchewan.
We don't have hills in Saskatchewan. But I bought my first set of winter tires down in Lower Mainland, where we did have some hills.
Yep.
And just the incredible difference that good winter tires make. And I don't just mean have winter tires, good winter tires with a good tread.
Yep.
You can use something even like what they call the Toonie test.
Yes.
Just stick a Toonie in your tread, see how far it comes up. If it's at the bottom of the bear's paws, if you put stand a coin up, they're really good because they're considered basically brand new.
Yep.
If it's to the silver, you're about halfway. You still have half your tread left. If it's in the middle of the letters, it's time to start searching for some new tires.
Good to know.
And the traction on ice and the grip in the snow makes such a difference. If there's snow or ice or compact snow on the road, it'll keep you on the road much better than a bald set of tires or even all-season tires.
Yep. Again, it's cheaper to buy tires than it is to get some body work done on your or someone else's vehicle.
Yes.
What I was going to ask you was, I have seen a few things about gift card scams. I was wondering if that's something that has been happening in town.
Gift card scams is another thing that's been happening, but it happens all the time. In my time here in Fort St. John, I would say probably the last 3-4 years, I've put out numerous media releases. And I've talked to different age categories of people where it is often the case. If you're approached by somebody via email, via phone, and they're saying that their form of payment that they need to take is some sort of gift card, it's probably not true.
Run away.
Run away. The government doesn't take gift cards. Most companies don't take gift cards unless it's actually for them. Banks don't take gift cards, things like that. And so if you do see that, at least talk to somebody.
Yeah.
One of the things with scams is there's often pressure. Take time to talk to somebody. Does this sound legit? And most of the time, it's not.
Yeah. I will take gift cards, but the chances of me reaching out to you are very slim. I'm sorry.
You can send them to Moose FM.
Yeah, don't do that. Awesome. And then anything else? I mean, we've covered don't drive drunk or impaired.
Impaired, yeah.
Yeah, there's a plethora of substances that you get. Just don't drive if you've had a few things.
I think even if we just think winter safety, one of the best things is to always slow down when you're traveling. If you're a driver and you're driving on our roads, sometimes there's roads, especially specific corners, that get really slippery.
Yep.
If you slow down, you can come to a stop much easier. It also gives you more time to react. Sometimes there's pedestrians, especially children if they're out during the day or after schools. It gives you an opportunity to slow down on time, to not hit them or collide with them. Everybody goes home safe.
Exactly.
And
so
slowing down is
there
huge.
are people that will merge into the lane without signaling. That gives you more time to react to that as well.
Especially with the new downtown change, with the you can't see the lines because of the snow.
Yep.
We do get some reports of that as well too. Yes.
Absolutely. One thing I want to touch on, because sometimes I don't think people get this. If I'm in a hurry and it's snowed, can I just quickly brush off a portion of my windshield and then drive away?
Do you know what? You can actually get a ticket for that.
Yes.
I
haven't, but I've heard of it.
You know what? To be able to clear your whole front windshield is way more important because you can't. If you only brush a portion, you can't see whether it's pedestrians, animals, other vehicles, whatever it is. You can't fully see them, and then it puts you at risk, not just the rest of the public, but yourself as a risk as a driver and any cargo that you have. No.
Don't do it. Awesome. Anything else you want to add before I let you go to patrolling the streets?
I think those are some of the best things this Christmas season. Just slow down everything, have good tires, make sure that you have any of your possessions or belongings locked up and stored, keep things out of visible sight lines, and don't drive while you're impaired. Absolutely. Those are some of the key ones, which would probably cover about 90% of the issues that we get.
Fantastic. And after all that, the most important thing is to have fun.
Yes, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and thank you so much for watching. This has been the Community Roundup, which is sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. Chad is not sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances, but I do appreciate him coming down, hoofing it over.
My pleasure. I'm glad it could be.
He had a really cool toque. I wish you guys could see it, but it's fine. You'll find him if you see him. Anyway,
You'll see him.